Hi, my name's Sue Ellam, and I'm a professional tarot reader and have been for 25 years. And I'm using the Mythic Tarot, which are based on Greek mythology.
And I'm Carrie Beleno, intuitive Reiki master teacher, spiritual life coach. You all have that memorized now if you've listened to us every week.
You know who we are.
So today's word is possibilities. Possibilities. And I think I might have some super guidance on that, but I'm going to let Sue pick her 3 cards and see where she leads us, and I'll diverge or join in.
Okay, possibilities. We have here the 4 of Cups. Okay. Yep. Now, the 4 of Cups is about, I'm really disappointed. Things didn't work out the way I expected. Do I cut my losses or do I just put up and shut up? So really, possibilities often come to us when we are in a position or in a state of mind when we are uncomfortable, when we have felt disappointed. We've gone for that job and we were promised the earth, and that after a couple of years we get promotion, and then 5 years later we're still there and still and people, seem to be promoted over us. Or we got into this relationship and we thought this was going to be the one for a lifetime, and then it didn't. Then it never developed the way we expected it to. And then we get into this position saying, well, I suppose I'm better off than Jean down the road, or, I'm better off than so-and-so who hasn't got a job. And so we try and justify it, try to give ourselves an excuse not to make a move because our situation is much better than somebody else's. But the bottom line is we're not happy. The bottom line is we're accepting second best. And the bottom line is, with the job, they could get somebody in that's better suited to that job, because if you're not enjoying it, that's not where you're meant to be. And if you're in a relationship, people say, oh, what will they do without me? And then there's kind of this guilt. But to be perfectly honest, who wants to be in a relationship when the other person wants to leave, but they're only staying because they feel, a bit of pity for you, or there's other reasons why they want to stay. I don't personally want to be in a relationship where the other person isn't equally wanting to be in a relationship with me. So we have, this is where the possibilities come up. Once you have accepted, or any of us have accepted, that what we're doing is no longer right for us, who we're with is no longer right for us. They had their time, we had and they had their time with us, but now it's time for us to move on, do new things, expand our repertoire where work's concerned, maybe take some time on your own. So because you can develop much quicker often when you're flying solo, or be open to another relationship, because relationships are changing. We're going into a new era. And if any of us are in relationships where it's game playing, trying to make the other person jealous, guilt, or kind of subterfuge, or kind of cheating and thinking, oh, it doesn't matter. Those aren't relationships that will survive in a new time coming. The relationships that are building are the ones where there's mutual love and respect, and it's not a case of being a possession of somebody, or the other person being your possession, or you not being your own individual person. It's not two halves of an orange coming together. It's 2 whole oranges. Yeah. Absolutely. It's 2 whole oranges kind of being very independent, knowing who they are, but their life being enhanced by meeting somebody else who can maybe push them, challenge them, this thing about kind of people think their twin soul is some kind of miraculous being that makes everything happy. Your twin soul is somebody that challenges you more than anybody else on the planet, and it's not always a comfortable experience because you're pushed beyond your limits, and this is what we're here for. So this is where possibilities, going back to the original word, this is what possibilities are about. It's about recognizing when something in your life is not working anymore and trying to find the best, most peaceful way out of that situation. So you leave yourself open for new possibilities, for new growth in the future. And one of the reasons I was banging on about this a lot was because we have the 10 of Cups, and this is ongoing contentment and permanence in the realm of the heart. Relationships coming in that will last a lifetime. So really meeting the person that will, you will enhance each other's lives in the future, that they are really your life partner, but having friends around you that, again, bonds for a lifetime. So if this is why it's so important to check in, saying, well, is my relationship, is my marriage, is it really happy? Is there anything I can do to make it more so? Have conversations, and if you find that it's not going anywhere, then it's time to say, okay, let's just, give each other a hug and go on our ways. Or if you're, as I said, in a job that's not working, then it's because you're not around the right people. If anybody you meet in the company is you become close to, then you can move on, and they will still be your friend afterwards. But it is about building wonderful, loving bonds and relationships for the future. And those relationships will sustain you and they'll keep with you. The Emperor card here is about being assertive, decisive, making sure having a goal. This is, I'm following my possibilities. This is really something that I feel excited about. Let me just make plans. Let me decide what I need to do if I'm absolutely sure. And then the people that have now drawn towards me will come with me. They will walk beside me. They will be there as my support, and I will take them along on my journey, and it will become their journey too. So this is really where, if you grab your possibilities, the world's your oyster. So those are the cards.
Well, thank you. Before I tap into what I was feeling on the outset, I just want to take us back to the first card that Sue pulled. And she was talking about uncomfortable feelings and how that pushes us to see new possibilities. And I want to make a connection for all of you here, especially anyone who has labeled themselves or been labeled with anxiety or depression. Those uncomfortable feelings that she's talking about will show up in our bodies as anxiety and what we call depression. And what they are simply signals to push us out of that place we are in and into the place we belong. And we have stopped looking at those as signals, and we have started looking at them as demons. And anxiety and depression are not something to be battled, fought against, or quite frankly, medicated. I mean, sure, short-term things to feel better, terrific. But I believe wholeheartedly that when we are experiencing anxiety or we are experiencing what we call depression, it is because we are not in the right place at the right time or with the right people or following what our heart is telling us. And it causes this uncomfortable feeling of not being authentic. And it shows up in this frequency, think of it like lightning bolt frequencies. They're showing me like jagged frequencies that are just like chaotic, all banging into each other, and nobody knows which direction they're going. It's like a whole bunch of people who all try to leave through different exit doors. That's the image I'm getting. And so when we're experiencing that, because we're not in the flow, we're not going down the river, we are not following what our gut is telling us, or following or with the right tribe, or following what our heart is telling us. And so we get this chaotic energy that quite frankly sucks. Headaches, digestive disruption, heart palpitations, all of those things are all anxiety, stress, and depression, when really it is the uncomfortable feeling signal that we need to right ourselves. All of that being said, possibilities are endless. So be careful as you're deciding that you're not in the right place at the right time with the right people, and you're looking for the new place. Be very, very careful that you don't box yourself in so that you limit your possibilities. It's extremely important that you don't, for instance, you're starting to apply for jobs, and you see one and there's a boundary on it, must work from home. And you're like, well, I can't work from home. I have, 2 small children, whatever. And then you cut that possibility right off. If it feels right and it feels like you should investigate it, because everything is fluid. Everything. You have a dream job and you call the boss and he's like, oh, I'm not hiring anybody right now. Put it out there, talk, do what your heart is telling you, because you never know what's going to show up tomorrow. So don't cut yourself off at the knees by boxing in the prerequisites of the possibilities.
And another thing that occurred to me is if we don't make the move ourselves, eventually the move is made for us.
Oh, absolutely. And you get fired, or you get sick, or, some other force.
And I remember it happened to me many, many years ago. One of the jobs, I was in it and it was convenient because I could walk to work and, and I was really there a lot longer than I should have been, but it was comfortable and, and then I got made redundant. Mm-hmm. And it was a hell of a shock. Mm-hmm. But after the initial kind of few weeks shock, it was the best thing in hindsight ever happened to me. But it was that I wasn't making the move. So that move was made for me. So if you're in a relationship that isn't working, you're not happy with, maybe eventually they will leave you. And then we are not allowed. Shocked. Yeah, we're not allowed to stay in situations forever. But we're given, I'm thinking the kind of with the one card is the Hanged Man, and that's like you make willing sacrifices for something better. But if you don't make those sacrifices within a certain period of time, which is obviously elastic, then the Tower happens and things start to change despite you. So if you're not comfortable with something now, realize that it's not going to go on for a lifetime. It will be changed despite you if you don't make the changes.
And I'm trying to make it easy for y'all. So if you're having trouble doing this, please contact me, carriebeleno.com. I do virtual appointments. I want to help you navigate it before it gets to the point of being forced.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Same with Sue.
Okay. Thank you very much. But we'll, anyway, that's what we've got to say about it. So please like, subscribe, and share if the message resonated with you and you think that somebody else might find it useful. And thank you for joining us.
See you next time.